This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. I'm very excited to be speaking with Tye Sheridan about The Order. How are you, Ty?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I was at a junket a few days ago and had a chance to speak with Jacob Laughlin
Oh,
about
cool.
Landman, and it's exciting to
Mm,
see after Mud so many years ago that the two of you are both doing so much great work still.
that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to check out Landman.
So tell me about this project, about The Order, what you knew about this whole world and history.
Uh, well, I didn't know anything about it before I got involved with the project. I mean, I knew a little bit about the world, but I didn't know about this specific story. So I think, as probably most people that are going to see this film didn't know that this took place. I think the movie is, has a lot of universal themes. It's about a family and community, but it's also about domestic terrorism and extremism, and law enforcement officers who are willing to go to the very end to defend their communities and their nation and to maintain democracy. So there was a lot of the movie is touching a lot of different themes, but it feels whole, it feels complete, and I think that's really a great achievement in the film. So yeah, I was drawn to that. I was drawn to the people who were involved in the film. There's a lot of super talented filmmakers and a great screenplay. So yeah, it was like ticked all the boxes.
Your character based on a real person or a collection of real people?
Yeah, I think most of the characters are probably inspired by kind of a lot of different people, real people. And then I play a guy who's a young deputy in the local sheriff's department, so he's pretty green. But he grew up with all these guys that have joined the Aryan Nation and now spun out and started their own group and are trying to start a revolution. So I think for me, it was the more intriguing aspect to my character was about how someone could come up in the same small community and someone takes a left turn, someone takes a right turn, and they end up at opposite ends of this spectrum.
It's like that line from The Departed. You either become a cop or a criminal. Although I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah, yeah,
here it's a
yeah.
little bit,
I
little
think The
bit more
Departed is
severe.
Yeah, The Departed is I mean, obviously a great film, but yeah, I think it definitely, this movie feels like it's cut from the same cloth in a way, and even movies from kind of the 70s and 80s that feel like, like kind of like classic good guys versus bad guys, but with a lot of profound themes and narrative and amazing plot. So yeah, that was a really exciting opportunity.
There definitely is a lot of darkness, though, and disturbing content to be found here. Especially the proximity, that your character has, as you mentioned, to these people, having grown up with a lot of them, and now seeing what they do, and not wanting to go on people's property where that would be bad. What was the mood like on set when you were filming?
Well, it was, typically it was like, you know, Jude and I, or Jude and Journey and I, and then the order team. So it was, we were mostly separate. Obviously, there's some crossover in the film when the good guys overlap with the bad, but it's mostly it kind of probably felt like we were kind of making two different movies, And so I was on one side and had no idea what was happening on the other side, just what I would hear through the grapevine. So yeah, it's really it's really fun when you have a movie that has multiple different perspectives, and then to see it in the end, to see how it all comes together is really fun. But I think specifically in this movie, that was a great achievement from Zach Balin, our screenwriter, and Justin Kurzel, the director. They're able to take all these multiple perspectives and weave them into something that feels whole, and it gives the audiences a chance to really sympathize with all the characters, the good and the bad, regardless of their ideology, and it allows you to get to the root of that, and so really like kind of peels back the layers of these complex people and their communities and their families and the way they think, and I think that's a great achievement in the film.
You say about Jude Law as a scene partner.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's been somebody who's done a lot of really amazing work over the years. Somebody I've admired from afar for a long time, and then yeah, to have the opportunity to work with him, to be close and see his process unfold is really, you know, I learned a lot. He's very dedicated, super professional, but doesn't take himself too seriously. He's always trying to make people around him as best as they can be. And yeah, I completely admire that. He's a great collaborator. Hope we get to do it again sometime. We absolutely just had a great time working together.
Not in a sequel to this film, but something different.
Yeah, probably not, but maybe something else.
How do you feel that the production design, costumes, etc., help you get in the mood of a period, even like a somewhat recent, but a period piece like this?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. I mean, those kind of things are super important on a movie like this, especially, you know, when you're trying to portray a character, you know, that's it's not you. And you know, there's a thing that I have like a pet peeve about. I don't like to go into onto set and rehearse without being in my wardrobe. It feels like I'm a stranger in this world, and so I really always like to be in my wardrobe on the set, even when we do rehearsal. It just like, you know, it's really important part of, you know, helping you get into character and making you feel like you're a part of this world, not separate from it.
I was looking back at some of your credits, and one thing that I immediately was reminded of, it's a film that's also period, but considerably less action. The Mountain, just
Uh
thinking
huh.
about driving in that, classic car with Jeff Goldblum really just making the turns, same kind of ominous cinematography, but with a very different vibe than this film.
Yeah. 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 Very different vibe. Two different movies for sure.
But you've definitely had the opportunity to share scenes with a lot of great actors in your projects. I was looking also back at Joe, which I think is one of
Hmm.
Nicolas Cage's most underrated projects.
I agree.
What do you feel like you get to learn from your co-stars when you're working with these people who are obviously have a little bit more experience in the field than you have at that point?
Well, I think even, you know, with anyone that you work with who you admire, usually I think like 99% of the time, you know, you've seen someone, you've seen their work, whether they're an actor, a writer, or a producer, or a director. You've seen their work and you admire their work, and you get a chance to work with them, and you realize how hard they work and how much dedication they have for what they do. And that's kind of a universal thing that you see across the board in most people, I think 99% of the time. And so I think as somebody who's, you know, a young actor and they're trying to, you know, learn things and take things away from the different people, the talented people that they're getting to work with, it's really inspiring to see that, and encourages you to work hard and really, you know, um, yeah, be dedicated to what you do.
Is there anything you haven't done yet that you'd really like to try, or someone you're especially excited about potentially working with?
Oh, I mean, that's too long a list. And yes, yeah, yeah, no, definitely. You know, I mean, I want to keep making movies like this. You know, I want to make really good movies with really amazing people, and you know, films that really resonate with people. You know, when you know, it's that's what we're all striving towards, right? Like, I've been a part of a handful of projects that I think have achieved this thing, and it's a miracle when it happens. It's so hard to make a great movie. You can make a good movie, but to make a great movie, and a movie that hits audiences and they're so compelled that they're silenced and they walk away, and for days they're thinking about it. And we've all seen these movies. That's why we love movies, you know. But when you get a taste of that, it's like that becomes the drive, you know, and become addicted, you know. So it's really just striving to try to, you know, capture that lightning in a bottle and achieve that miracle. That's what, you know, is it's so amazing about making movies to me, and why I want to keep doing it.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and positivity and wish you plenty of luck in the future.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.